brother Juju.
It's Tumano Pan. It's the brother Henry.
What's up, y'all?
Brother Shaman Henry. And it's the brothers Hermanos. Yeah, man. So got my brother here. I met him when we went on this trip to Africa. We went to Egypt or Kemet or whatever you want to call it. And I had a bunch of awakenings and epiphanies and some aha moments. And I realized that my bro here, he tapped into some stuff as well. And when we were out there, he mentioned this joint called Kambo. I never heard of it really before. So like he introduced me to it. And go ahead, what is Kambo?
So Kambo is like this really...
Kambo or Kambo?
Well, some people call it Kambo, some people call it Sapo. Yeah, Sapo, like some parts of like indigenous cultures, but it's pretty much I can't say it's a medicine because some people take it a little sideways when I say it's medicine. They start, there's certain companies, and so what I'm going to call it is an ally. It's this powerful ally, yeah.
Oh, that's smart.
So Kambo is essentially a secretion of a frog from the Amazon, and they apply it to this stick right here. And the Amazonians use it to hunt, to become better. Like, let's see. The best way I could explain Kambo is so many different ways. So the way it originates is in the Amazon, and it's a secretion. And so when they milk it, they put the frog secretion right here. And how it gets applied is a whole different method, but I'll talk about the benefits. The benefits, it cleanses your body, cleanses your mind, your body, and your spirit.
I need that.
Yeah.
Everybody needs that.
And what it helps tremendously the most though is depression. In the Amazon they call it panema, which is like this negative entity, this cloud that's around you. And the way it works is usually you open what are called gates. They're like little small burns over the surface of your skin using a little stick.
Like right here, huh?
Yeah.
Like right here, huh?
Right there. So Marcus did this yesterday. Yeah, Marcus did this yesterday. So
a wild boy.
Yeah. So first, tell us how you feel.
I feel real great. I'm good.
Yeah.
I like flying on a high level, but it was a good purge. I needed to purge or detox, especially in the days and times that we living in with all this police brutality or whatever's going on with the war, the political war, just the war period and everything. Yeah. So I just needed to do something because I felt like I had like vampire energies or energies that was like draining me.
Right.
Like this is what I want to ask you too, Harry. Have you ever had sex with a chica and just like just the energy just felt some type of way? Is that even possible? Like vampire?
They're inner demon.
Like yeah, you pretty much like sex with a demon.
Right.
Has that ever happened in your world? Is that possible? Have you awakened that?
Dude, that's a crazy ass question. I've had that shit happen in different ways.
That's real, bro. That's from a shaman. That's from a shaman right here.
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good question, man. It happens in so many ways, dude. But yeah.
So I felt I might have tapped into inner demon out there, and I was like, I need something just to purge or clear, just so my own energy is my energy that I'm comfortable with, or that I'm more
like insidious experiences, something crazy like that. That's wild.
Yeah,
man. I didn't think of that.
Yeah. I just have to ask sometimes because I don't know where we at, Hey, I just have to ask, right? But going back to it. So what else are the benefits? Like, what's the difference between ayahuasca and Kambo?
So ayahuasca is a spiritual teacher. It is. It really awakens you to why you're here. Like what? But everybody's experience is different. It's really relative. So Kambo though. Kambo is this dimension. It's about like the root chakra, the sacral, the solar plexus. It's all about this reality. So for example, if there is something you're evading about your life, if there's something you're trying to work on, like for example, I don't know, like something that you should be doing about your life, like going after your dream, this just removes the blocks. So it's very this dimension. Ayahuasca is a multi-dimensional spiritual teacher. This is all about this reality. So that's what I appreciate about the practicality of Kambo. And the Amazonian natives, they use it differently than we do. So that's why I was kind of giving you like a little, I don't know how to explain Kambo too much. Because in the Amazon, they use it differently than we do. So here, in us, we do it differently because they see everything as spiritually connected. Here, we have to introduce Kambo in a way ceremoniously, all right, we have to step out of the the norm, like the 9 to 5. You have to come out of your way and we have to do a ritual process. In the Amazon, they're just like, I'm gonna burn your ass. I'm gonna put the Kambo on you, and you're gonna go purge. You're gonna go clean your body.
So it's no better or worse. It's just different.
It's just different, yeah.
It's just different
Culturally,
process.
yeah.
Culture. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
How long have you been practicing? Or how long? Like, how'd you get introduced into it? Like, how'd you even find out about this?
So I found out about this by a good friend of mine that actually lives not too far from here, lives in Culver City. And I met him in Costa Rica working with plant medicine, Ayahuasca. And he told me about this and I was like, I don't want to get burnt. I don't want to do that shit. I don't want to feel sick. Because this does make you feel sick for about 15 minutes.
Yeah, I was going through it. I was puking.
Yep.
That's that cleansing, right?
Yeah.
That's what you got to do to cleanse. Though you got to go through that. Go through that to get better.
So this is what he told me. If you get burnt, they put on a secretion that's technically a poison, and then you throw up, you might shit yourself, but then you feel like 1,000 times better. And I was like, I don't want to do that shit. Who the fuck wants to do that? But I just did ayahuasca, so I was like, I think I'm gonna try it.
Right.
And so I went at it, did it. This was about 5 years ago, and I saw my life completely change. You know, within a few weeks, I started noticing subtle differences, like conversations and people that I know that I should have probably backed away from, and I didn't. It just wasn't my usual routine. Just started saying no to different things, and then I just started working with it more and more and more. And then I started just opening up to like
more in tune with nature, huh?
Yeah, man.
Wow,
you
that's
know,
crazy.
Actually, it actually opened up my psychic abilities to a higher level. I didn't really think that I was like that capable, but once you start cleansing your body from all the densities,
That third eye start beaming, huh?
yeah, man.
Like more discerning, like
Yeah.
higher discernment, right?
Exactly.
Wow, that's crazy.
So my dreams, everything just started amplifying. And I can't say it's all Kambo. Like I was telling Marcus on the way over here, this is an amplifier of who you are, of your intention. So if you are on a path to reinvention, this will amplify it by 1,000 or even more. It's all based on where you're at. So this is a great ally.
I do that when I take shroomies sometimes.
Yeah,
I like want to go to like the hit planet, so I like go in there like, oh, I gotta go to hit planet and make like a hit song or make like, and then I'll go there and then like the perfect melody or the perfect beat will just like flow through. Like I just gotta get out of my own way and let my subconscious really brain. And then, but the intention I set before I do the trip, before I go there, it usually ends up answering itself. So it's really powerful, like if you like meditate or have some affirmations in your mind beforehand of what you want to get out of the experience of what you're doing. Like going into Kambo, I was just all about healing. Like I was all about just getting that demon out. So I was like, I just wanted to just go back to, you know.
Not the sex demon.
Yeah, that demon, for real. Now, so I was just trying to do my best to just purge all of that whole
Let's
shit
talk
out.
about that. Let's talk about what did you experience with that, man?
So I tapped in, man. I made love to one of these young ladies, man. I tapped into her inner demons, man. It felt like a stuck feeling. It felt like I was trapped. It was just an energy or a vibration that I didn't y'all around now. It's a different level of energy. It just put me in like a darker place of me just feeling like, damn, I got a lot of anxiety within me right now. And if I don't do like Tai Chi or like run or do something to get it out, then I'm gonna just stay here and I'm gonna just feel more trapped. It was just a vibe. You know how people be like, oh, it's a vibe, how you go around. Like you might not get in this person's car because you like, I just don't like the vibe of the driver. You know?
It's good to follow that vibe. I always say that my first mind is my right mind, but I guess that's that inner man, huh?
Right.
Inner spirit. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Like you said, your higher self, or I don't know.
So did you get it out? Did you get that?
Right now I feel good, but it comes and goes. Like it's crazy. It's an energy, it's a vibration. Definitely. And it's like now since I got better, I've done more shrooms and done all these substances, I'm familiar with energy now. So I know what like an energy where it feels like we could talk about anything. It makes you open up more. And then some energy or some people you can come around where you just want to shut down and you don't want to talk at all. Like you want to give them a whole alter ego, like a whole other person that you are. You just want to just be real quiet. Like even if you're real talkative of a person, and just some people will bring that out of you to be like, I just don't even want to say nothing because anything I say can be used against me.
I get that feeling sometimes.
You know? And then there's some people where you start talking and it's like, I'll just say whatever right now because fuck it.
I know the shaman know more about that. I mean, you know, I know a little bit, like the surface, but I'm nowhere near on his level. I know you know way more about that type of stuff.
I can't even say that, I appreciate the shaman, but I'm like, man, there's so much more work I need to do, and what does that really mean, really, right?
Well, that's how you know you're a wise man, because he's this guy is just so humble.
He's a practitioner of this, and he's done all the stuff that people would consider you a shaman for. So that's why I'm like, I look at him like that's a shaman. So I'm like, what's a shaman supposed to look like?
Right.
You know, look in the mirror.
Boom. But not everybody embraces it, though. There's a lot of people that don't want to call themselves that, or they don't want to take them chances because fear of people out. You were speaking big about that yesterday with the Kambo. Like, in fear? Like, what's up with that?
Well, fear is information. It contains the formula to your success.
Message?
Whoa. Can you say that one more time?
Fear is information.
Well,
Fear, fucking judgment. Everything that you experience is information for you to transcend yourself. If you look at it from the perspective of containing wisdom for your ascension.
Boom.
Because you could perceive, you are the shaman yourself. This is just an amplifier.
Message?
Yeah, you are the secret. You are everything you need. You're the miracle you've been waiting for. How the biggest illusion that we have is that power is outside of us. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's consistent as fuck. It's always like, you got all these reinforcements. You have whatever you're going through, debt, COVID, all this bullshit. There's the illusion that power is outside of you, but you determine the meaning of your experience, and therefore it creates the inner reality that you experience.
There's different frequencies.
Yeah, and that's what mushrooms do. This is what this does. I'm not saying that Kambo is Kambo is just a thing for me, and it's helped a lot of people.
Right.
But it's just a permission slip. You could use fucking cannabis. You could use mushrooms. You could use ayahuasca, San Pedro. You could use meditation. You could use a walk in the park.
Going back to mushrooms, I think that the creator of the Super Mario game was on mushrooms, because you got Mario, right, which is you.
And it makes you bigger,
Mario,
better.
Right? And you hit the shrooms, and then you can see everything a lot better. And the whole journey of life, right? The whole journey of the game that you're going through is all kind of obstacles and all kind of fuck shit happening, so that they're trying to kill Mario off. You gotta jump and do all this. And what's the reason that he does it all? He's facing Bowsers and Wario's and all kind of
turtles.
Shit. You know why at the end, though? To rescue the Peach. And he rescues Princess Peach, and then the game is over, and then you just have the credits of the people that wrote the game, like of the creators.
Damn, I never even thought of that.
You do all of it for the Peach, bro. We're doing all this stuff for that, and then after you get it, it's like you make it, if it's a happy experience or a terrible experience, because sometimes you rescue the Peach and then your life can turn into hell. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, man, and now this is the part 2 of Mario, and then it's like Mario Party, Mario Kart, Mario, they got all these extra Marios just based off that first one where you went to just rescue the Peach. He did all that and took all that trouble on for the feminine energy. Like, you went through all that bullshit. Like how we do. Like, do all this shit.
That was good. That made me forget what I was gonna say. That was good. That was good. I was like visualizing all that.
Like they had to be on shrooms or something for that, to even create that experience, to make it all one and go back and be like his life or his story, it's your story or your journey as well. That's the same thing you got going on.
I got a question for him. Ancient civilizations use certain drugs to open a doorway in the mind, right? Is that accurate?
From what I understand, and from what I feel intuitively, Okay. It's hard to prove that shit. I mean, you could look at history from so many different perspectives, but intuitively that shit makes sense.
Right. What about kids? Is this like a thing that kids do?
In the Amazon,
In the Amazon?
Yeah. So our organization, we don't work with anybody. They have to be 18 or more. Right. This could be, I don't know.
Like you said, cultural differences. Like from here and they do it there.
That's what was so hard for me in the beginning of this when we started. Like, how do I explain this? Because you have the dynamic of the Amazon, you have the dynamic of our Western civilization with that. So I'm not sure how to approach this. I mean, I have a hard time explaining Kambo to a regular person, because there's so many components to that. So the kids, they do get, when they get in trouble in the Amazon, the parents actually burn one gate and then they apply the Kambo, because one little.
Oh, that's when they take it off the.
So let me explain a little bit how you do it. So you put a little bit of water on the stick and then you scrape a little bit of the Kambo, and water is just supposed to activate the peptides in and it's technically poison, but it's not going to kill you.
Right.
If I apply this to the gate,
because it's not in your bloodstream. So.
Well, it's entering your lymphatic system.
Okay.
It's poison when you eat it. Okay, so there's a different way. Like when you put it to the blood, it doesn't do that. You could put 20 points on this, and the points are going to be the size that Marcus showed you earlier. Yeah. Nothing's going to happen unless you have a heart problem or. Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna see.
Not everybody can take this, and I recommend you do your own research. You can hit up my website. Yeah, not everybody can take this. You know, there's a whole list of people who can't take this. Like people who have heart problems, people who have hemorrhages, pregnant, obviously, and you know.
And you will throw up.
Yes, you will.
So if you don't like throwing up, then you don't leave it alone, bro.
Man, if you don't like throwing up, you should go.
There you go.
You got some shit to work on. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, that's a better way. That's a way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, but so you scrape it, and then you put it on one of these gates that it's got open. So you need to put a bunch of them to make you want to throw. But one is not going to do much. It's just going to make you feel kind of sick. Marcus, I put one on you yesterday because it was your first time. I mean, how did you feel with the first time? With the first gate?
I just wanted the full experience.
Yeah.
I wanted to go like if we was in the jungle. I'd be like, how would the tribe do it? I wanted to do it like as the culture.
Right.
Dive all the way in.
The tribes are crazy, man. They'll just put it on you while you're just doing whatever. There ain't no ceremony, though. So the ceremony we did. You know what I'm saying?
He said there ain't no ceremony.
There's no ceremony. They'll burn your ass and they'll put it on you, and then you're out on your own. You don't got a bucket, nothing. So,
right.
So
what's up, though.
So we make it cute and pretty. We make it available for you and
American way.
Yeah.
Right.
They actually use spit. We use water. They use spit. They spit on the stick, and then they spit on whatever gates you open, and then they put the Kambo, because the spit is supposed to be a enzyme activator or something like that, and so it activates the peptides even more. But we don't do that here. I mean, for sanitary reasons, we don't do that here, but you still get the full value from it. Which is
COVID-19.
I'm curious on how the first person ever figured out how to create Kambo. Like, because it secretes from a frog, right? Mm-hmm. So who was messing around with a frog that got that? That was like, yeah, now I'm gonna put it on this stick and now I'm gonna go burn it.
Well, you know the natives was real
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you the legend behind it. Yeah. So there's a shaman in Brazil, allegedly in Brazil, that their whole tribe was dying. They had some kind of sickness. It was like something, I don't know what it was, but this goes back thousands of years, but legend has been, going down. I'm not saying that this is a fact. I'm just saying that this is what is said among the natives, that they were drinking ayahuasca, and a shaman got a vision, and the spirits of the Amazon told him to get this specific frog, which is called the Philomedusa bicolor tree frog, or
Philomedusa?
It's called bicolor Philomedusa, or monkey giant tree frog. That's what it's called. So, and this shaman got the vision, grabbed this frog, milked it, and then started curing his tribe, and that's how it all spread. So the spirit spoke to him essentially.
So he milked it.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Crazy.
You gotta be, you know how in tune with the universe and God, you gotta be to you know what I mean, to know that you can do something like that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's why it's not crazy. I was like, who came up with it? Like, how did that happen? And then it still ended up becoming into we do it today. And then get a lot of benefits and a lot of takeaways from it. Like you said, it boosts up the immune system to a whole nother level.
Yeah. It does so much, man. I could spend hours talking about this. Yeah. Honestly.
What type of people you mostly see come get to do this experience? Like, is it more like hippie vibe type people like us, or it's like do you see a lot of like corporate people, like, you know what I mean, or it's just people from all walks of life?
Well, it all depends. You attract who you are, so.
Message.
Right. I mean, I get all types of people, but I get the right people.
That's right.
They're all beautiful in their own way, in their own process, and but I get it from all. I mean, I haven't got no corporate people, like I've gotten just people who are just. I never even asked, to be honest.
I never asked. Just not,
Yeah, they just show up and they need assistance, and this is just one way that I can help them. I never really ask too deeply what they do, what they're like. I don't screen them. So,
right. I mean, that's what this is all about. It's about getting rid of, breaking down barriers, right? Yeah. So, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What is this object right here? What are these?
Well, so this actually is the Kambo itself. This is how we get it shipped. So.
Oh.
Yeah. So we get our medicine from an organization called IAKP. That's the one I got trained with. And so we buy it from them, and they wrap it around this leaf, and it looks like this when you open it. So this is all dry. It's all good. You could keep it for over 10 years. There's no time frame. There's no expiration date. And what activates it is the water. So that's that right there. This is the Kambo. This is my knife that I use to scrape the Kambo. This is just an empty Kambo stick. And we also use this here.
Like a pipe.
These pipes, this is called a kurape. I'm sorry, it's a little tepe. This is a kurape. And then we use something called hape or rape, depending on what part of the country you're in. And that's tobacco. It's sacred, or mapacho. It's made with different like herbs, and, like I don't know, like the bark of cacao, eucalyptus, whatever. Yeah, it has it, and it's a powder. And what we do is that we put a little bit in this pipe, and you blow it up each nostril. So I would blow it up your nose.
Yo.
During Kambo. So if you're having a hard time purging while the Kambo and the medicine's working through your system, I use this to unblock whatever things that you're psychologically holding on to. So I'll give you an example. I had a client who was working through some sexual abuse. Okay, so she had this as a child. I found this out later, right? And so what Marcus did, he did a basic, which is just a general cleanse. Like, show him your arm again. So that's like a basic, right? If he decides to go back and do it again, we could work on chakras. We could work on meridian points. We could work on ear points. And what I was telling him is like, a basic will get you from LA to San Diego through the streets. You know, it'll get you there. You know, on GPS, you'll take the streets. It'll take a little longer, but you'll get there. You'll get there eventually. But now that he's done the basic and we know he can work with the medicine, now we can work on chakra points, meridian points, and it's like taking the freeway. It'll get them fast. It'll get there faster. Whatever his intention is, whatever he's working on. So this young lady who was experiencing this shift, and she wanted to work with Kambo, she did a basic, and then the next time she came around and we started working on chakra points, and we did the root, and she wanted to let go of all the bullshit that she's been holding on to. And
that's what's up.
When we did the chakra points, the roots, so we made little gates on her tailbone, like right above her butt crack, and we put them right there. She was experiencing a hard time, and she didn't know what it was, and then I went in and I, had the intention, blew the hape in her nose, and then she just started crying, and began purging after that. And later she tells me that her ovaries, where she felt all that trauma, felt like she was going through like a birthing process. It was almost like opening up all her ovaries and everything down there, and she just kept purging, and she purged out, she released all that trauma. And I didn't do it. She did her own healing. That's why I say she's a shaman. This is an amplifier.
Boom.
You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to take any power. You have all the power. You get what I mean?
So it's like cleaning. So it's like cleaning your mental palate and your like physical palate. If that's even. At the
definitely.
Same time.
So it has 4 components to this. That from my experience. So I'm gonna be real. From my experience, there's a mental component, a spiritual component, an emotional component, and a physiological component, and they all open up with Kambo because there is peptides that bind to your cells and it unlocks your cells. So it opens up pretty much the channel for you to remove whatever's holding you back. Wow. That's why the Amazonians use it to clear what is called panema, which is the negative energy, the entities that are wrapped in your system and shit like that. So yeah.
Wow. Man, I felt like I just learned so much.
That was great.
I feel like I was in school right now. Man, I love that.
Tips with a shaman.
Right. And then this right here. This is called Sananga. So Marcus had this yesterday too. This is one of my favorite teachers right here. So that's
You drink it?
No, you put it in your eyes.
That shit burn, bro.
You put it in your eyes. So you have to do this ceremoniously too, man. Like All right, so how it would work, I could do it for you right now if you want. No, I'm just playing with you, man. So you lay down on the ground, and I put a drop in each eye. So you have your eyes closed. I put it right then, right here between your eyes. It's a tree shrub, and the tree shrub's called Tabernea montana sonana, some long name. But in it helps you with glaucoma. It helps you with clearing energy. It helps you with opening your third eye. It helps you with depression. So if you're struggling with depression, do this for a week, and I will guarantee you, I can guarantee you from my experience that it will vanish. And the reason it does, I don't know why, to be real, but it burns the shit out of you. It burns the shit out of your eyes for about 5 to 10 minutes. But it's a great teacher to show you how you're showing up to pain. Because, I've worked with hundreds of people already using this. So people who go like this, as soon as like they open their eyes and blink, it immediately shocks the shit out of you. It's called the lightening of the eye. They call it like that because it just shocks the shit out of you. So if you're clenching your body and you're not breathing, it just shows up how you're showing up the pain, and for me personally, I used to show up like that. I was always like holding, I was like, oh fuck, and then I slowly realized, I was like, how am I showing up to life? And I started breathing through it, transforming with it, understanding that there was something more to the pain because it's inevitable. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional.
Yeah.
So
no storm lasts forever.
No. Unless you want it to last forever.
Boom. Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we have that fucking power.
Yeah, we do.
But we misuse the power. You don't know it, and that's why people create more problems because they don't know what all they can transmute.
Right. And so that goes away within 10 minutes. And then your vision enhances. That helps with stigmatism and all these other disorders in eyes. Yeah, go ahead. You can do whatever you want from here.
What is that one?
This one's called Dragon's Blood. It's a tree sap, and we just apply that to any open wounds. And it's like it's a bandage, and it helps you. It's a natural bandage, and it just helps the healing process a lot faster. So that's why Marcus's gates they look a little dark. Because if not, they would just look like. Because you're not getting too burned. You're getting the first layer of skin burned, and it doesn't even hurt that much. It's just like a little nick, and we're just peeling the skin a little bit. So there's no blood involved, none of that. So it's just.
That's good information.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to know.
And this is also non-psychedelic, by the way. Non-psychedelic.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do Kambo.
Yeah.
I'm definitely next in line.
Yeah.
It's just good when you got a practitioner, somebody that can walk you through the process and explain it to you, because then you're in more of a secure space or a safe space where it's like you're gonna be all right. And a lot of it's in your mind too. So if you're like in an environment where you say anything can happen right now, where literally anything can go on, and that's when it's like, all right, because your mind will start playing tricks on you. So then it'll lead you down that rabbit hole to the dark, anxiety and a lot of clenching and a lot of the extras. But if you're in a good environment, then a lot of times your brain will go in this direction of being in a more positive, safer, secure environment.
And there's practitioners everywhere. So the organization that I was trained with is called IAKP. You could just Google that, IAKP, and you could just search it's like a GPS. It'll locate whatever practitioners are around you. They're all trained, certified, and each one of them has their own flavor.
Yeah. Right.
Mine is very about self-mastery. So that's just what I focus on.
The place we hang out is just like it's just like African and Latino just mixed. It's just like all love, And it's like we had to take a long trip on a road, like a 2-lane road. Yeah. And when we got there,
you took it on horses?
No, we took it. First we drove in the car, and then we got to a point where we had to get out the car, and then we went and got on the horses, and we traveled up to the mountain. We traveled up the mountain. We was hiking up the mountain for maybe like 30 minutes to an hour. And then once we got up there, we still had a hike on the horses, and it was funny because the Dominican dude was telling us in Spanish, he was like, just trust the horse. It was kind of like an
I just
experience.
trust the frog.
Yeah, it was an experience like on what's the movie with the blue people, the Avatar, right? It was like you had to connect with the horse, so it was like it was crazy, and it was like we on the back of a horse climbing the mountain, like the horse had literally had to do stuff like put his hoof up, and this is like it was crazy. And then once we got up there, we was hiking for a while. It was like a narrow road on top of this mountain, and like on the side it was like probably like 1,000-foot drop, and there's no bars, anything, and we're just riding the horse. And then we get to a small town up in the mountains. It's a town. These people live up in the mountains, and these people were so nice, man. They told us, and they told me, the guys told me, oh, it's not nice if the guys offer you something, you eat it, you drink with them, So I went and bought some more drinks, and they was like happy, like man. So I was like, oh man, I was like, this is cool. And then like they was like doing like prayers and stuff or whatever. And then we ate and we danced with them. We danced to the cultural music. And then we got back on the horse and we went up some more, and we found a water fountain, a waterfall. And some of the guys that was like, oh, I'm not getting. I was like, man, I'm getting in. I was like, the Dominicans, I'm doing it. And the water was like so clear, it was like crystal clear. It was a waterfall, you know what I'm saying? It had like little algae rocks and stuff, and it was cool, man. We got in the water. And then we got back on the horses, went back to the town, and then we had to like a crazy experience. It's like pitch dark, and then one guy had like a candle, and one was holding his cell phone, and you on the horses, and you can barely see a little bit in front of you. But you gotta remember, on this side, it's like 1,000-foot drop.
Damn.
So we was just right. He was like, and he just kept saying that. I'm like, no, just trust your horse. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it is like Avatar.
Yeah, I was like, it was crazy, man. And then, but like earlier, one of our buddies, he tapped out. He left and he got on the motor concho, and they took him back into town. But
what is that?
Was like the little motorcycle.
Oh, okay.
Like, oh yeah, the little motor concho. Yeah. And I was like, but me, I just wanted to get the whole experience. I don't know, I'm like that. I just want to go all the way through. I want the whole experience. Right. Like we went, and then we went to a lagoon, and it was like caves, and the caves were like going to water. Said these caves like the Indians used to be in. And you can swim, there's clear water, you swim, you see like little fish and stuff, you swim through it, and then you can swim back up to another part of the cave where it's like you can breathe again, it opens up. It's crazy. It's just like, man, I was like, I don't know, that's what made me fall in love with this place. Not going out there for the partying and all that, just like the nature of it. Right. Like, there's so much nature there. Like,
you got family there?
My uncle and my cousin was out there. It's crazy because my name is like a French Haitian name, So I always been intrigued. I always want to learn more about the culture, the Dominican and Haitian culture, and just go out there and really see what it was about. Because people always say, "Oh, they don't like each other," but I ain't experienced too much of that. Yeah. I mean, I see like a little rivalry they got amongst each other, but I think people try to divide and conquer the Haitians and Dominicans. I don't think it's like what people say. Because like my first time I went to Haiti, people begged me not to go to Haiti. It's like, don't go. And when I got over there, they was like, oh, so I said, it was nice. They was like, oh, my brother, you know what I mean? These people have nothing. They giving me food. One was sitting in a little hut. It looked like an Indian type hut. And the lady was just sitting there cooking. And she was just like, oh yeah, he's like, oh yeah, she's saying, yeah, you, baby, you like my child. Everybody is my children. And we all family, and I was just like, oh, this is a cool vibe. Damn. But the voodoo part is real. Like, it's a real religion. Like, they really believe in that. Like, they got a rag. Like, the guy it was a guy arguing with a guy in town. Yeah. And he was like, they was arguing. My boy, he was just schooling me on the whole, just bringing me more into light on voodoo. I was not wicked. The thing was wicked. But, the guys was arguing. The guy pulled his voodoo rag out, and the whole crowd just like parted like a Red Sea. And it was like nobody's supposed to touch that voodoo rag blessed by the priest. Yeah. And I was like, that's crazy, man. It's crazy. And when I went to Italy, I spoke to a priest, and he was telling me like, yeah, voodoo and Catholicism is like brother and sister. Yeah. He said he's just telling me the similarities between them. I was like, oh, that's crazy, man. Yeah.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
It's an experience.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like vaccines. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's always a better alternative. You know, I mean, the people that believe in it, I mean, I don't criticize them because, you know, people believe what they believe. With me, I kind of feel like it's always an alternative. Like, for my life, I had asthma. My mom used different herbs to help me with asthma. My cousin had lupus. She pretty much cured that with herbs, and we have like a herbal doctor we've been going to since we was like little kids. I can take you over there and he'll give you stuff to cleanse you and everything, colon cleanse you the whole nine. And it's like, to me, it's, I don't know. I just some people believe what they believe. You know, I guess it's 50-50. Some people believe in holistic medicine. Some people believe in, I guess, pharmaceuticals. I mean, that's their thing. But me, I always like to take the natural, even with doing my locks. I don't want to interlock them. I want to palm roll. I'm more into like natural things. Yeah, pretty much.
I asked you that question about the vaccines because on your last episode, you guys were talking about traveling. Yeah. You know, and a lot of countries require certain vaccines, and I'm on the same tip you are. I don't want anything foreign in my body. I don't want anything pharmaceutical, and it's gonna make it a little difficult if you want to travel and do that.
Yeah, when my first time I went to Brazil, they was trying to make us get some type of, but something happened where I didn't have to do it. That's crazy. I guess like the universe came through for me.
There you go.
Because I was really against it. It was just like, it was like, oh yeah, we get your visa, you gotta get the vaccine. I was like, what? And they was telling me that about Africa too. Just something happened where I didn't have to do it.
Damn, that's dope.
I was like, yes. Is this in every state, or is like this is like kind of like California-based thing, or you can go all over?
It's legal everywhere in the United States right now.
Oh, okay.
Actually, internationally.
International.
Yeah, I think there's some laws in Brazil like restricting like the marketing of Kambo because some of the tribes have like intellectual property.
Intellectual property. Okay. Yeah.
So there's something in Brazil that's not legal there really, but they still practice it. But it's just some weird law. But for the most part, it is completely legal and safe for most people. You know, the only exception is people who have heart problems and, you know, in certain conditions. And for that, I really require, like, I think a huge part is to look on my website and to see who can't take Kambo. Because there's a little list there, but it helps. It helps.
What's your site again?
KamboRise.com. KAMBO Rise, RISE.com.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can learn more about that.
That's right. Wow, so, man, so like, it's probably like a different experience in all of these different, I don't want to say zones, but like every like, I guess that's like a good journey to go to different countries and get a different experience, like, especially like the Amazonian type countries.
Definitely.
Brazil, Peru, you know, but I guess they got this in the Caribbean too.
Right. Yeah. They got it everywhere. And this frog's only based in the Amazon. It's on the corner. It's like in this like triangle spot where Colombia, Brazil, and Peru is. Yeah. But they're in abundance. These frogs multiply, man. There is no lack in this. Even the Amazon being burnt up the way it did, there is so much of this medicine.
Right.
Yeah.
Do the frogs have because I think I heard somewhere frogs don't have like any natural predators.
This one doesn't have any. It doesn't.
That one does?
Yeah, because well, the snakes attack it, and as soon as it secretes its venom, which is the Kambo, then they just spit it out.
Wow.
So it's something beautiful about the frog because the frogs represent homeostasis. They represent ecological balance.
Okay.
So if you think about that, that is going into your blood. That's becoming part of you. Balance.
Wow.
You know, you're accepting that energy into your system. So, you know, there's something powerful about that when you're able to own that.
Wow, that's deep.
You know, the frog too. If you think about it, like mystically, it has the ability to go within the water and come out of it. So, go into the subconscious and make it conscious.
Yeah.
So,
and it's even more connected to the universe. You know, I always felt like that. Like you stand in water and pray. You're more connected with the universe.
Definitely. It's also like in ancient alchemy, the frog is like the the master tool of the alchemist.
Right.
So there's a lot of, you know, symbology behind, you know, the
Wow,
toe,
I
the
never
frog.
thought about it like that though, because they swim in the water before they develop, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Man, that's wild.
The only thing though I forgot to mention is that a lot of people get this confused with bufo. A lot of people,
What is bufo?
Bufo is the toad that contains 5-MeO DMT. So a lot of people smoke bufo, and it's the toad, and it takes you into this like DMT trip for like 15 to 20 minutes.
You can't smoke this thing.
No, you can't smoke because actually you can't. You cannot take Kambo after you smoke bufo. You have to wait about 6 weeks because the frogs communicate, and if you have a bufo experience and then I come work on you and I do Kambo with you, it activates that experience in you. So this is a non-psychedelic, but for some reason it becomes psychedelic.
Nature's crazy.
Yeah.
Or like, who found that out? Like, who was like the guy that's like, I'm gonna test this out, and then they came back and told you like, all right, look, never ever put these two together. Like,
I always want to be the guy like, I'm next. Oh no, I don't want to. I changed my mind.
That was my question. Is like, who is that guy or that girl? It's like, who made that happen?
But however, this shit is powerful if you do Kambo and then you work with ayahuasca. So if you work with ayahuasca tomorrow and we do Kambo today, your experience with ayahuasca will be a lot smoother because you've cleaned out your body. Because, you know, ayahuasca does that too. It purges you out. But since Kambo will do the heavy lifting for you the day prior, and this is non-psychedelic, it's really practical. Your ass will get up and, you know, 30 minutes after Kambo and you're ready to go. You're ready to do whatever you need to. So that's another aspect that we didn't talk about, is that after you work with Kambo, you're pretty functional completely. Some people feel unstoppable right after taking Kambo. Some people feel exhausted after Kambo. Some people need a nap. Some people need to eat food. Some people want to sleep. Some people, every experience is different. With ayahuasca, it takes over.
So that's why. So which one did natives use to hunt more? Was it the Kambo?
Kambo.
Kambo they used that because it's just like taking to another level, right?
Yeah, because it takes away your natural order. So if you stink, you know the animals will pick that up. So if they would work with Kambo, because it would remove that sense of smell, because you're cleaning out your system. So you get that all out of your system, and so it makes you invincible to some extent.
Wow.
And you know what? I'll tell you this story because I don't know. The first time I did Kambo, I didn't know any of this. Okay, so I did Kambo and I was like, all right, I feel 100 times better. I came home that night, and actually I did it in the morning, and at night there was a car accident in front of my house. And this dude was drunk. It was like 2 in the morning. It looked like he was just stumbling around. I had to grab his ass and like sit him down. I was out like with shorts and a muscle shirt. You know, it was like 2 in the morning, right? And everybody came out. All of my neighbors came out, and then cops came out of nowhere and started shoving people back, like get back, because the scene was just mayhem. It was a big accident. The car flipped, and it was just pretty bad, right? And it's the middle of the main street. Cops, ambulance come, and they're pushing everybody back, but me. I'm in the center of the car accident, and I'm kind of like blown away because the cops are not telling me anything. The fire department's there, they're not telling me anything. It's almost like nobody could see me. This is a real experience, okay? And I'm trying to figure it out because nobody's telling me shit. And so I walked towards the cops, and I decided, how come nobody could see me? I made that intention, and then all of a sudden the cops like, get the fuck back, get over there, get over there. I was like, oh shit. And my family was out in front. They're like, where you been? I was like, I've been here the whole time.
Whoa.
You guys didn't see me? They're like, no, we didn't see you. We thought you were in the house. And I was like, it didn't make any sense to me, right? I go back a few weeks later to work on Kambo again because normally people don't want to work with Kambo after they finished because they just went through a really like purging process. But after you feel the benefits, you can't wait to come back. And so I went back 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, and I was talking to the practitioner, and I was telling her what happened, and she was like, oh, yeah, it's normal. You just shifted your frequency into being invincible, because that's what the natives did. That's how they used to hunt with it.
Right. We're not even using all of our senses. Really, we're supposed to be on a higher level.
Yeah.
And
Now, you may not believe me, and that's totally fine,
Yeah.
but it's my experience, and I saw it.
I
So,
believe you because in Haiti and Dominican Republic, I had an experience like that in the voodoo shrine.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was crazy. You know how they say like
Yeah.
the spirits manifest
Right.
in insects and animals sometimes. So I was going into a shrine. It was teaching me about the luxury
fuck,
god,
man.
right? And you make sacrifices, not what people think of as TV, like blood and all
Yeah.
that. But it was like, you know, you don't eat, you don't have sexual intercourse on certain days, and you wear all white. And like, man, when we was walking into the shrine, it was bees everywhere, just like bees all over the door, flying around. And the guy that was walking us in, like I guess the voodoo priest, he was like, "Oh no, don't worry, it's okay, your energy is good, don't worry." So we go in, he showed us the shrine and all that and stuff. And then when I'm coming out, there was no bees, nothing. It was like bees, it was like no bees nowhere. And I was like, what the hell? And it just seemed like one little bee flying. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about. It was crazy, but they were like everywhere.
Yeah.
It was like a hive there. I was like, what?
I don't get
And
it.
I was like, I know I didn't smoke no weed before I came over here. I didn't drink because it was early in the day, and it was just like, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. And I was like, I'm like, what else? He's just like, don't worry about it. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna worry about it.
Don't ask. Yeah. Crazy. I could tell you about another experience about a client that I had. Actually, no, I'll tell you an experience that I had. So when I was doing my training, you have to work with Kambo almost every day. And so I did something called a warrior, which is doing Kambo 3 times in 3 hours. And so what Marcus did yesterday.
Wow, boy. What? 3 times in 3 hours?
Yep.
On the 3rd time, were you still throwing up?
Every single time.
Every single time you still threw up.
Yeah, and it gets tougher and tougher. You're just going deeper.
Yeah, you made that metaphor. It's like an onion.
Yeah.
You're like peeling layers of an onion.
That makes sense.
This is non-psychedelic, I repeat, but you become psychedelic. So psychedelic is like, I think the root word is like experiencing your own consciousness. And so when I was doing the first time, I just purged, like I had an intention, like I want to just become healthier. I purged. So the second time, when I was getting the medicine on me, I felt that my ancestors were with me. I just felt it intuitively, and I knew that I wasn't just purging for me, I was purging for all of life. And at that point, I was purging for all the aspects of my life, for my ancestors, for, the future aspects of me, the past aspects of me. And I can't explain that. I just knew that I had to get that out because time is an illusion. So I was like, okay, so I get to purge that out for all time dimensions. And fuck, that was the craziest purge. I was wiped out completely. And I had to do one more after that still.
I want to have that experience. Yeah.
Well, I'm holding ceremony this weekend, so. Yeah. So that just tells you a little bit about that. You may not experience that. You may just experience a general cleanse, but the more you work with it, you're just going deeper and deeper and deeper within yourself. So,
Layers.
Fucking layers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna have to all 3 of us put together a trip too, and like hit South America or Colombia or something. Really, and go out there.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to do the Kambo, how do they get in contact with you, or how do they sign up, or what's the process?
So I have 2 ways you can get in contact with me. The first one is KamboRise.com. That's spelled Kambo Rise, RISE.com. Or you can visit my other website, which is Henry Quesada, HENRY, last name Quesada, QUES88.com. You can see my services there because this is my side passion, and I also have a major passion, which is helping people to discover their full power.
It is, man. So,
Hey, brother Juju.
it's Mono Bang Bang, his brother Shaman Henry. Here's the brothers Hermanos. Hey!